Cause you can never kill my vibe. But there with no sacrifices. Everything was taken, you had to make it. Vibe killer, me I no go take shit.
Hi and welcome back to my channel. My name is Castellini if you're new, and if you're not, welcome back to another hair video. We're starting off on a bit of a rough note. I went to my braid store, my braid stash, and I realized I was completely out of black braids. I had a bit of blonde and a bit of black, so I ended up mixing the two if I was going to have enough braids for this hairstyle. And this time I'm taking an extra step in the preparation of the synthetic hair before I start braiding, and that is to dip them in hot water before braiding. I got this tip from a channel called Deeper Than Hair TV, and they mentioned that the synthetic hair fibers are usually coated in some material that makes them very stiff, and when you braid it on your hair it ends up breaking your hair, and that's why a lot of people feel like synthetic braids are not a protective hairstyle. So dipping the braids in the hot water before braiding your hair actually helps to strip this coating and then makes the braid much softer, and it will not be as drying and as hard on your hair. I don't know how well this tip works, or I don't know how effective this is, but I am here to try so I can let you know. And hopefully I will have less damage from the braids once I take them down. So I dipped the bundles of hair in the hot water, making sure every strand gets in touch with the hot water, and then I just hung them out to dry. It took about 30 minutes for them to dry, but while they were drying I started on preparing for the braids. So I'm starting off with stretched out hair. I'm going to be doing base braids, that is braids with my own hair, and this will be the base for the jumbo braids. And this is a tip also that I got from YouTube, especially because jumbo braids are very difficult to grip. If you're doing it on yourself, it's very hard to grip all of the hair family in order to make the braids look neat. So doing smaller braids with your own hair and then braiding the synthetic hair on top of that makes it easier to get a neat result. And if you're not new here, then you should know we don't stress over the parting in the back. We really don't stress, because if I can't see it, it's none of my business. I try my best to make the parts neat, but if there's a few wonky parts here and there, we will live, we'll survive. So at this point the concept is pretty simple. I'm just parting off large squares, trying to make it a sort of a brick layer design, and braiding the hair. Starting to see the vision of what the bob is going to look like, although it's been so many years since, I think the last time I did a bob braids, maybe I was less than 15 years old. So this these two pieces at the back have determined the length. I would have loved to have like a really short bob, but that would mean I would have to fold the hair, and that's just another challenge that I don't want to get into. So it will be up to here. So these two will be the guide for how long I braid the rest of the braids. But I can see the visual starting to form. Now with my base braids done, I can start adding the synthetic hair, and of course I had to do a trial run before I can explain what I'm doing. And I would have loved the braids to be much thicker than this, but after doing my own hair braids, I counted out how many and I started parting the hair, and I realized I had such little hair, so I had to reduce the size of the braids. And to make the braids, it's pretty simple. I'm using the crochet method. So I'm inserting the crochet at the base of the braids and running the hair through. So from the piece of hair that you're going to use, you'll divide it into two. One smaller section that you will run through the braid, and then a bigger section that you will use to attach to the braid. So once the hair is run through, I just smooth it out to make sure that it's even on both sides. And then I add the extra piece of hair, twist it around twice, and then start braiding down. I feel like the essence of a good jumbo box braid bob is the knot at the bottom of the braids. And right now I know the craze is all about knotless braids, but I feel like when you're doing a bob, you actually need those knots. So that's why I'm twisting the hair around twice before I start braiding down. And also because it's going to be like a loose hairstyle or a short hairstyle, it just helps to add a bit of volume. When it comes to the braiding down part, I'm just using my hands to feel for my hair in between the synthetic braid because they're different textures. So as I'm feeling along, I'm adjusting the synthetic hair to cover my own hair. Of course, there are a few pieces poking out here and there. If I was a bit more careful, it wouldn't be the case, but again, we don't lose sleep over such things here. And I'm loving this crochet method because it just makes things a lot more easier, and also you don't have to get finger cramps trying to grip all of that hair in one braid. So my camera battery ended up dying and I went to do other things. By the time I was coming to sit back down to finish off the hair, it was at night. So that explains the change in lighting. But once I came to the front, it was much easier to show my technique. So again, I'm running the synthetic hair through the base of the braids and then adding the second section of hair, twisting it twice and braiding down. But this is a much closer look at the process. So by the time I got to the front section, I was completely out of the blonde and black mix. And luckily I dug through my storage and I found another black braid. Now this one, I didn't get a chance to dip it in the hot water before braiding. So it will be an interesting experiment to see the difference in my hair between the front section and the back, and see if there's any damage caused by the hair that was not dipped in hot water. It's a very costly experiment, but hey, it's not the first time I'm braiding my hair with regular braids. To finish off, I'm going to be burning the ends of the braids. So I'm going to be using a bowl of water to dip my fingers so I don't burn my fingers, and then a lighter to burn off the braid tips. You can see how excited I am about fire. So I'm just cutting under the knots that I made while I was doing the braids, and then burning the tip and dipping my fingers in the cold water before I press down on the tips. And it goes without saying that this part is extremely dangerous, but I feel like I need to mention it. Be careful playing with fire. As you can see from the intense focus on my eyes, I was not about to burn this house down. And for some reason, the braids still ended up longer than what I expected. I think it's just that fear of cutting your own hair. That's why I just kept on thinking, should I cut higher or lower? But at the end of the day, we make it work.
Baby, can you focus on me? Can you focus on me? Baby, can you focus on me?
I wanna be in your life until the night is over. I wanna hold you so tight, coming closer. It's been a hell of a ride, but every single moment you were there by my side. Whenever I'm wrong, you make me feel low. Whenever I'm low, you're there for my soul. Wherever you are, girl, that's where I call my home. Whenever you're down, I'll be there. Girl, I want to be dancing with you forever. You see through the storm and take me as I am.
And this is how the hair turned out. I know the parts are not straight or even, but I worked on them to make them clean, and I don't mind how they turned out. I added a few hair accessories to make the hair pop, and that's it for this bob. And with that being said, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Share the video with your friends. Thank you so much for watching all the way until the end, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.
I want to be dancing with you forever. You see through the storm and take me as I am. Baby, it's magic and we turn it look together. Come here, 'cause it's